Oh shit. Here we go. Close enough. Welcome back, Tonikawa. Haven't had something this sweet in a while. So basically, we just go shopping and walking together without our problematic child. No, they're not eating all that. That is too much food. And they're eating dessert? No matter how much you're like, oh, I could eat all that, you couldn't. Ooh. What the fuck is that? Get away, gargoyle. And of course, she slept through it. Plenty of times the world goes to shit or areas where you live go to shit, but you still want to hold on to your where you were born and raised as much as you can. This thing's fast though, huh? They're really cooking with the production. If he fucking rips his head off, I swear to God. Yo, she could have sniped our boy too. Wait, where is our boy? Oh, thank fuck, she used the barrier on him. That's smart, okay. Maybe we should have recruited more people along the way. I'm not sure if the three of us are eventually going to be enough for this world. I gotta be real. Maybe we can recruit a Hero of the South equivalent, you know? Listen, I don't think anyone should ignore or not acknowledge the fact that the date between Stark and Fern was adorable and it did great for their characterization and progressing their relationship. But all I'm seeing so far surrounding this episode is stuff like that, where I believe we have arguably a top 10 moment of this show. And it doesn't come from any wholesomeness of dates or characterization like that. No, what actually ends up happening is it flexes I think the core message of this show, which is twofold. Enjoy the journey, not the destination. And also what it takes to be a true hero. And that's where the end comes in. Stark, after dealing with, you know, arguably something that, shit, that scared me so bad I can barely move my legs. We should have traveled by sea. And it's so amazing because Stark is having the exact same opinions that Frieren had when she originally was with the Heroes Party. She would say, hey, like, we should have traveled by sea. We could have avoided a lot of the monsters because as she tells Stark, it's only going to get worse from here and this is going to be what's considered average for us to fight. And Himmel says, as a hero would, yeah, but that may make our lives easier, but it would make the lives of other people harder because there'd be no one to take care of the monsters in these woods. And the fact that now Frieren is the one feeling that, he may be dead, and that's still a painful pill to swallow, but his spirit lives on inside her, and the fact that now someone like Stark having that fear, which is a genuine, I don't blame him at all. I mean, they went up against someone that could have been a demon lord in half of these shows. And she is explaining the same thing she was taught, that we have to, it may make us scared, may put ourselves in danger, but we got to be the ones to protect people. And it doesn't matter how many of these beasts we got to slaughter, and even if we have to give our lives to do it, it's better to do this because you can't just continue to move forever. Eventually those monsters would make it more inwards anyway. So it's like, what a beautiful moment, man. Like, the date's amazing. We'll talk about that, of course, but this really represents why I think the development of Frieren is so spectacular, given how she used to be in her original party, yet despite her closed-mindedness or even her hostile attitudes to a lot of, like, why are we doing this, she has grown so much in the years, and boy golly do I hope there is a heaven or something in this world so Himmel could be looking down proud of who she became, you know? Got this far in the video though, you know what to do. Drop that like, show your support, subscribe, ring that bell if you haven't already, and Patreon's where you're going to catch my full live reactions to all some more, which does fund the channel and videos just like these. So the date, right? Everyone's going to be hyping this up. It was very cute. It's very funny because it's not really different from what would normally happen. And also, this isn't what he probably would have done if he was in control. And she even notices it by the end, like, hey, like, you know, it didn't really feel like you were yourself today. He's like, well, actually, I had Miss Frieren kind of playing everything. And she's like, well, I'm just happy you did something because you wanted to make me happy. But it's really interesting because the more you think of these two, the more you realize, damn, they really are just two parents trying to get out of the house because their kid's a problematic child when you really consider it. Sure, there's some stuff they enjoy doing. They like shopping. They like eating their ridiculously sized food, which I'm still not sure how they swallowed all that because, you know, a pork bun this big is one thing, and then you add in an entire stack of buttermilk pancakes. Get the fuck out of here, but I digress. But it's really cute because it is quite similar to, and this is always what I've loved about Frieren, the parallels of the past to the present. In this case, we have Frieren and Himmel, and their date was they went and looked for a lost cat. They seemingly found it by the end, even though she tried to kill the cat. but that was enough for him to just have a really good day, right? And while, of course, these two, I would say they probably didn't enjoy it as much as Himmel enjoyed his date back in the day, it is nice that by the end, I think they both appreciate it just as much because each of them is trying to make the other happy here. We have Stark, who's trying to just make her have... He doesn't know what a fucking date is. He doesn't know what to do. He's like, shit, should I have wore different clothes if she was wearing different clothes? I thought we were just coming and it was going to be casual. I didn't think she even liked me. But he did his best. He went to another woman to say, hey, can you teach me how to make her happy? Unfortunately, you're talking to the person that has the same amount of opportunity to randomly tell you one day, oh yeah, I've had a baby. And they would say, what do you mean you've had a baby, Frieren? She's like, oh, I didn't think that was important to explain. That could happen at some point. So you know what? She's not the best option to get advice from, but she's kind of the only option we have. But at the end of the day, the fact that he went out his way to try to make her happy, then in return makes her happy, even if the day wasn't exactly what she had envisioned, it's the thought that makes it so great by the end, and it's very fucking sweet. It's also nice to see that her status as a mage is now getting us through gates a lot easier because she is, you know, ranked the best of the best. And honestly, it was very fun seeing the level of danger they faced. They went and dealt with what kind of looked like dinosaurs. I mean, that's, you know, okay, they're all right. They can survive that. Casually fighting this giant monstrosity that has so much moss growing over it, so who knows how long it's been laying there. Usually you see a giant turtle or some sort of monster like get up. Not usually a humanoid design, so that's scary. You got the hypnotic snake, which was one thing, and then you got the Jeffrey Epstein gargoyle. So, I mean, at the end of the day, they went through the ringer traveling through this forest, and it's no surprise why once they defeated what could have been a demon lord or the top-rated general of a demon lord's army, Stark was like, I don't want to do this anymore, boss. But then, you know, got roped back in nonetheless. Just overall, this episode of Frieren, as per usual with Season 2, represents the message of Frieren. Enjoy the journey, don't rush to the destination, but also be a true hero along the way. And I love how it's definitely easier in this group than it probably was for Himmel and them when it was Frieren who was just like, fuck this, because that really was her attitude. She did it, but she was very blunt, and she was that type of blunt that is offensively blunt. So it's like to see that you can still have that same worry energy, but not have it be as what the fuck. It's just more of I'm scared, and she's like, yeah, you will be, but we got to do this because think of how scared the common people living in this area is. And I'm sure there will be some people who will say, you're living in a dangerous environment, it's kind of on you. But no, I mean, if you grow up in an area, it's natural for you to want to stay in that area. And I mean, even if everyone who was scared of these dangerous areas moved, all that would happen is that the monsters would continue to push inwards. And then those areas that are safe would no longer be safe, you know? There's an argument to be made. You're constantly surrounded by tornadoes or tsunamis. It's kind of on you to move at that point. In terms of the monsters, they have a bit more of a get out of jail free card, if you ask me, because, you know, they're just going to move more inwards anyway. So, I mean, yeah, send some adventurers in to clean it up. Your thoughts down below, though. What did you think? I definitely think the best moment and one of the top 10 Frieren moments is just that reveal about why you go down the dangerous path. But I'm sure most people like the date portion the most. But you can let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you drop a like, show your support, subscribe, ring that bell, and yes, Patreon for live reactions and other exclusives like, hey, I love to give video shoutouts to those patrons because they make these videos possible. Alright, so today I've got Winkia, Gonzago, SLF Needs More Love, Yoon, Marcus Nielsen, Get Zerged, and we also have Backslash. So I appreciate the support. Please take care. You know, have a good one.